What a time to be a Detroit Lions fan. Just 4 years ago, we were firing our head coach and on our way to a rebuild or a retool, if you listen to Brad Holmes. And while we all knew he had to tear it down to the studs, he was trying to be optimistic. And it started really with trading away Matthew Stafford. And now, 4 years later, we got increasingly better, starting 3-13-1, drafting Aiden Hutchinson, going 9-8, just missing out on the playoffs, drafting Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams with the Aiden Hutchinson, but Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell, then going 12-5, making it all the way to the NFC title game, and then taking Terrion Arnold and those guys in the first round. And now we are in our fourth year, and we, for the first time in franchise history, are Super Bowl favorites. That is outstanding to say. And so instead of talking about there was a joke that we used to talk about all the time, that we started talking about the NFL draft in week 4. I refuse to talk about the draft at any point during the season. The season is so short. The off season is so long. I'm not going to entertain the off season during the season. I just can't do that. Maybe a video here, a video there, but I'm definitely not going to be talking NFL draft. So now we are talking about playoffs are locked up. The Lions could literally lose the remaining 7 games and still make the playoffs. That's how secure they are when it comes to the playoffs. But now we're talking about seeding more than anything. And for the first time ever, the Detroit Lions could also have the #1 seed, which is super valuable in this restructured playoff format. Because before it was 6 teams, and the first 2 teams in each conference would get a bye week. But the #1 seed would have home field advantage. So now you just have the bye week is only exclusive to the first seed in each conference. So that makes it even more important. You get like a free game to the Super Bowl. That didn't happen before. You didn't get a free game to the Super Bowl. Yes, you did. You got a bye week and then the 2 teams. So you did. But so it guarantees home field advantage and you get a free week, a free game to the Super Bowl. So we've been talking about clinching, right? When the Detroit Lions could clinch the first seed. Now, this is it's any given Sunday. We don't know how the NFL is going to go. You think a team should get blown out and then they beat a team. So this is, although unrealistic, this is just one of the ways that I concocted that the Detroit Lions could claim the #1 seed. It is going to take a lot of help and some some miracles and some upsets. But when I say claim the #1 seed, they could have it clinched as early as. This is going to blow your mind. Again, you guys know I absolutely love this. When is the earliest that the Detroit Lions could clinch the #1 seed from what I've done? They would have to clinch. The earliest they could clinch is in week 15. They would have to win. They've already won, 8 in a row now. They would essentially have to win 12 in a row in order for this to happen by week 15. So they would have to win their next 4 games they've got the Colts, the Bears, the Packers, the Buffalo Bills. But there are a few teams that's going to have to get upset. But as you can see here, I've already done the math. If the Lions are 13-1, the worst they could be is at the end of the season, it's 13-4. All of these teams have at least 5 losses. So it wouldn't matter at this point in the season. In week 16, we would have to play the Bears. We could lose that game. We would have to play the Vikings in week 18, and then week 17 is San Francisco. I'll be at that game. Right now, as you can see, the Niners are not even in the playoffs. So we could lose every game. Each of these teams could win every single game, and they still couldn't catch up to us. Now, it looks unrealistic. It really does. It kind of is, but any given Sunday. And that's the same with us. We could drop a game against the Bears or the Colts or something like that. But realistically, this is probably not going to happen. But there is a chance for the Detroit Lions to claim the #1 seed in week 15 with a week 15 win over the Buffalo Bills. With 3 weeks remaining, the Detroit Lions could have clinched the #1 seed. Now, there are quite a bit of upsets. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find them throughout this. Hold on. Because I have to tilt my head over. One of the upsets would have to be the Bears over the Vikings in this coming week. So we would need the Bears to win. That's one of the biggest upsets. Then in week 13, there's another one as well. It is not really the Cardinals over the Vikings, because I think that that's a win, but it is, maybe it's not this week. It might not be this week. But then 14, I know it's here in 14. 14, we would need not really an upset. Not really an upset. I mean, the Falcons could beat the Minnesota Vikings. So I feel like is it 15? It's one of these weeks. So even now, the Bears. So you know what? I mean, this is looking more realistic, really, than anything. And I gave the Green Bay Packers a win. I gave the Minnesota Vikings a win. But the key is us winning 4 in a row. Yeah, all of these are done. Oh, here it is. The Saints over the Washington Commanders. Because if I change this, let me make sure I don't lose this. If I change this here, then that puts the Washington Commanders at 10-4, and they could end up 10-4 with us. And then you got these tiebreakers. And since we didn't play each other, we would have to look at I think they go division after that, and then like all these other tiebreakers that they would use. So this is the second upset that we would need. So I guess, I mean, real talk, it's not all that unlikely. It's not as unlikely as a scenario I did before this, but that's what we would need. So we need 2 major upsets. We need one in week 12. So if you're watching, you're going to be, I use this term loosely, you're going to be rooting for the Bears to win this game. And you're also going to be rooting for the LA Rams to beat the Eagles. I actually thinks that this happens. I think the Eagles have to go to LA. I think Matthew Stafford can very well, and no Devontae Smith either. He's not playing. He's out. So that's going to be a hit on that Philadelphia Eagles offense. So this is not that realistic. The Lions could claim home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs as early as week 15 if they win the next 4. If they lose one, then it'll get pushed back a week. So we will look at this depending on how this go. But if I'll go back to week 12, and you can pause this and you could tell. So this week, the games that you really, really want. I mean, you could even say the Cowboys to get that W. That would help us tremendously. That we wouldn't maybe need an upset against the Saints. But you're going to be, I know, none of us are rooting for the Cowboys, but you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys got to win. The Cowboys need to win, of course. We need to handle our business. We need Minnesota is going to Chicago, and they're kind of due for one, right? So, and this is the first of their 2 meetings. Division games are always tough. So we need specifically this week, we could use a San Francisco 49er win. The reason I didn't pick them is because Purdy and Bosa are not playing. We could use a LA Rams win. We could use a Dallas win. We got to handle business, and we could use a Chicago Bears win. So pause that. Look at that. That's what we would need. And what we'll do is we'll dissect this every week. But the Detroit Lions can clinch the NFC as early as week 15 if they win the next 4 straight. And this is one of the ways. I'm sure it might be multiple different ways, like the multiverse, man, like splitting into different timelines. So you can have some fun, man. Play with it. I love this thing. Week 11, love it, man. I've been using it for 5 years. So anyway, quick housekeeping stuff. Fathead, 30% off Black Friday, right? So I'll leave a code at the top of the comment section. But I used it yesterday, and I bought some stuff, man. I forgot to bring it in to this video, but I bought a Fathead, the Fathead Lion sign. It's a foam sign. I think it's 74 inches tall. I bought that, and I bought a Jared Goff foam face and an Aiden Hutchinson foam face. If I go to a home game and it's the defense that's going to come out, I'll bring Hutch. And if it's the offense that's going to come out, I'll bring Goff. And I also made some purchases from, so all the description stuff, man, the housekeeping stuff, I'm not going to change the affiliate links in the description because a lot of them are temporary. Like a lot of the ones that I'm promoting now are Black Friday stuff. So This stuff is, the Ridge one is pretty good, man. It's running for a pretty long time. So use promo code YouTube10, YouTube10, and you will get 10% off your purchase. I'm just saying, man. So anyway, make sure y'all use the links in the description, man. The giveaway will be, it really depends. So I said this in my last video. I'll just update you guys just in case you didn't watch the whole thing. I am waiting for a response from a guy that was going to sell me an Indianapolis Colts ticket for a pretty decent price. If I don't hear from him by Sunday morning, I will check Game Time and see if I can get them really reduced, because they're kind of high. It's the highest game that the Colts have left. I mean, I saw some tickets that were $15. After the Lions play them, there's nobody on the schedule out of their remaining 6 games that come close to what the Lions are. So if I can't get that deal, I'll wait until Sunday morning and look then. So I may or may not be here for the game. I'm not sure. I really, really, really want to go because this is one of the stadiums that's drivable. You got Cincinnati, which is, you got Paul Brown Stadium, Paycor Stadium. You've got this one, Lucas Oil, and then Soldier Field. Those are all decent drives, right? So that's that. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm driving home, the game will be over at 4. I'll probably be in my car 4:30, 5 o'clock, and probably 6. In between, you know what I'll do? I'll drop it at like 7:30, right in between the game of the week and Sunday Night Football. But then when we get back, we'll do a pregame show, and then we'll talk about it, and I'll give the winner 24 hours to respond by email. So anyway, that's the housekeeping stuff, man. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You can be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.